So I have been in a weird mood for like a month and a half. And I've only just come to the conclusion as to why. So in order to get myself back into the mindset of booktube and all good things, I need to rant. So the Slytherin shirt is on, Ranty Emma is ready, and today I am going to shit on BookTube's probably most beloved author. Hi everyone! Oh, this video, I think subconsciously I've wanted to do this video for months, but I have been terrified that people would like cancel me, and then I realised I don't give a fuck because I'm not here for this whole cancel culture and all this shit. Emmanovella is for me and my thoughts on books, so I need to stop being scared to say, oh, this is fucking dreadful. I need to stop worrying that if I say really harsh things about books or authors that it's gonna like affect their lives. It won't, because I'm not going to share this with them, and my rants are for like entertainment purposes. Like, yes, I'm annoyed, but like obviously I'm amplifying it for the video. Do you know, like, it's not taking over my life. I will film this video, get my thoughts out, and I will edit it and I will giggle at how ridiculous and overreactive I am being, but that's the point. We all enjoy when people lose their shit over really minor things. So with that said, this is the one and only time I'm gonna make this disclaimer, unless I like do it again, but when I'm ranting, when I'm shitting on books, please know that I like mean absolutely no harm to like authors or the people who like the books. I'm just mad and I like to be mad. I am a Slytherin. I get enjoyment out of these sort of things. So if you don't like these kind of videos, that's fine, don't watch it. But if you like have a dark, icy cold heart and soul like I do, welcome. Today, we're gonna bitch about Markus fucking WHOsak. So, this is the point where I would grab my copy of The Book Thief and be like, oh, The Book Thief, everyone loves The Book Thief, Markus WHOsak is God, ah! But I can't be fucked to go and find it in the pile of just ugh, that's going on down there. My bookshelves look great, and then you get to the bit you can't see and my floor is covered in books and canvases. I literally just have a shitload of canvases. I'm gonna start this off by saying I love The Book Thief, okay? The Book Thief is amazing. No hatred to The Book Thief, okay? So nobody panic. I am not gonna like talk crap about that book. I loved it. However, I'm out of breath. The god of whatever fucking writing, WHOsak, took 10 fucking years, more than 10 years, okay, more than a decade to come out with anything new. Basically, I found out that this year he was releasing Bridge of Clay. I was buzzing, I was so excited, and then no one talked about it. Even I thought, okay, maybe people aren't really excited about it, but when it comes to like autumn, they'll talk about it then. No, nobody spoke about Bridge of Clay, Markus WHOsak's new book in 10 years, in their anticipated releases. And I was like, this is weird. And I commented on a few people's videos, especially ones that I knew liked The Book Thief, saying like, oh yeah, I'm excited for this, blah blah blah. I'm also really excited for Bridge of Clay by Markus WHOsak. And they're all like, Markus WHOsak has a new book coming out. So like, from the offset I was annoyed, because like, how do we hype up this man so much and nobody knew he had a new book coming out? Like, genuinely. So that kind of was like, oh well, okay, it's not that hyped. Then the book came out. The only person that I have seen hauling this book is Chloe from Books with Chloe, and she is obsessed with Markus WHOsak. She loves The Book Thief. No one else has spoke about it as far as I know. Do you know, like, and even when I got approved the NetGalley arc way back in like September and was like, oh my god, how did I get approved for Markus fucking WHOsak? People were like, that's so cool. Didn't know he had a book coming out. And it just flew under the radar, and I was like, okay, whatever. The book came out, nothing. And I realised this has been my problem for the last month. I could not finish this book, okay? I tortured my way through 47% of Bridge of Clay by Markus WHOsak, the author of The Book Thief, and I couldn't do it. That's why I did not finish A Conjuring of Light in time for the live show, because I was forcing myself through this book and I just didn't want to fucking read anything because I was like, what is life? I don't like a Markus WHOsak book. I mean, that was the only one I'd like, second one I ever read, but still, I was like, how can I not be enjoying this? I was looking at reviews on NetGalley and there was loads of like, oh, this is so good and it's so reminiscent of The Book Thief and his writing and oh, gushing away, and I was like, hold on. I read The Book Thief in like 2014. I don't even think I had my job at Waterstones yet. No, I didn't, because I was in Spain. It was before I even applied for the fucking Waterstones job, right? So this was prime me not being a reader time, and I was going on holiday, but I always took a book with me on holiday, so I was like, perfect, I'll take this. And I read it and I loved it. And people are trying to say that it's written the same as Bridge of Clay. But like, if I, who is now much more well read, can't deal with the writing style of Bridge of Clay, then there's no way that 17-year-old Emma would have read The Book Thief. Like, I'm telling you right now, I would just not have managed it. It's not written the same, and it really, really stresses me out, because there's nothing I hate more than people who get a book for review and they're just like, oh, I love it, and I'm like, okay, and then they try and make it seem like they really did, and I'm like, you know, I'm not saying that people didn't enjoy this book, but I really do feel like a lot of people who read it are just like, oh, but it's Markus WHOsak, and I'm like, what? And so many comments on like reviews were saying, oh, it's a bit strange, but once you get used to it, it's really good and it's so worth it once you get past like the start. I read 47%, okay? Now, I physically couldn't put myself through any more of this book. And I'm sorry, but there's getting past the start to start enjoying a book, and then there's literally reading an entire book and it not having any redeeming quality. Like, I could not see this book going anywhere fulfilling. And I don't, like, obviously I'm not going to turn around and say that everyone who's saying they enjoy the book is lying. Like, you're allowed to enjoy this book. I just personally cannot fathom how. There was no plot. The writing, I mean, I have first drafts more coherent than that, and I know that sounds really fucking like egotistical to say that this published author with the best-selling book worldwide has written a worse book that he's actually like edited and stuff with other people is worse than my first drafts. But it's not written chronologically. So like, you know, you read a book and it's like, once upon a time this happened and then this happened, and it goes progressively, and you might skip forward a few months or whatever, but like, it makes sense. You go on a journey. Even when your main character is talking about the past, they still will talk and tell you the story as it happened. Sometimes you will get like flashbacks or, you know, stuff like that, or you might get alternate points of view, so maybe like in A Still Maskins Just Don't Mention It, it has the current day, and then if alternate chapters are 5 years ago, so you're getting like 2 stories in the one. The problem with Bridge of Clay is that he'll be talking about something and he'll be like, oh, but we won't talk about this just now because we're going to talk about this thing that happened before this thing, but between this, and I'm like, sorry, what the fuck is going on? I don't know when this is set, I don't know what is happening, like, and it just doesn't make any sense. The only bit that I enjoyed was when we learn about the mother, okay, because Bridge of Clay follows, I can't remember anyone's name, there's a guy called Clay, okay, and there's like 5 brothers, the Dunbar brothers, so there's Clay, Dunbar, the guy that narrates it, and these 3 other brothers, and their mum's dead and their dad's gone, and as far as I know they live in this house with a mule, a cat, fuck knows what else, a shitload of, I think there's fish, all I know is there's a mule. And like, I don't know how old they are, I don't know like why social services haven't taken them in. So they talk about this murderer, which I'm not even gonna lie to you, I figured out like pretty much the minute it was brought up, I was like, I bet you that's their dad. Spoiler alert, it's their fucking dad. And also, I'm not going to warn you about any spoilers because like you don't need to read this book, and I've only read 47%, so like I still don't know the half of it, and to be perfectly honest, there's no spoilers because nothing fucking happens. Seriously, they talk about Clay does this training, he like runs up and down stairs in a block of flats, and you don't know why, and then they go to this like park and it's like he runs, but people are like there trying to like stop him and they like beat him up, but he always makes it, and like I don't understand why, but apparently he knows what he's training for, but he'll know when he finds out, and I'm like, the fuck is going on? And then he decides his dad appears and the murderer appears in the house and he wants help to build a bridge, both metaphorically and physically, and Clay decides that he's gonna go to his dad's and build a literal fucking bridge. But he's like so emotional about it and like really fucking emo. And the older brother that's narrating the story is basically like, if you go, like, I'll have to like beat you up and shit, or something like, it's not even said, it's like implied. So Clay goes to like build this fucking bridge, but then he comes back to like visit because he wants to do something. And the brothers all come like, oh my god, Clay! But then the brother that's narrating the story is like, but I had to do it. So the big brother beats him up because he went to build a bridge with his dad. And I'm like, I don't understand what's happening. And it jumps back and forth. And then the bit that I was saying that I enjoyed was the mother's story, because she grew up in like the Soviet Union or something. And it's like how she became like a famous child pianist prodigy and got to like leave the country, and her dad basically made her like flee and never return, and how she like met the dad and everything. That was a really interesting story, but I don't get the whole thing with the brothers. It didn't make sense, and it wasn't enjoyable. Do you know, the stuff that I was reading about the brothers, I was like, what's the fucking, there's nothing here that is like anything. It felt like really bad exposition. And when people are like, oh, but if you keep going it gets better, and I'm like, well, obviously it can't get any fucking worse. And I thought to myself, I was like, I got 47% of the way through, and I was like, I can't do it. Like, I physically could not pick up my Kindle to keep reading. It fucked over my reading till now. Like, I'm still struggling to sit down and read because I'm just so let down by this book. I'm so annoyed, and I realised the reason that I am so annoyed is because no one's talking about this book. Like, it's Markus WHOsak, and I have seen no reviews for it. So like, I've not had anyone finish the book and rant about it so I could be in the comments like, oh my god, I only read half of it, and yeah, I agree. Because I don't want to make this video for a book that I read 47% of, because that feels really cruel. Like, maybe it does get amazing, but I am not torturing myself because it might get better. Like, I have so much more to do with it in life than read a really shitty half of a book because it might get better. I did waste half my life. Like, I wasn't going to waste another half because it was decent. I've seen a few reviews that say it does get better, but like, not much. And I'm like, what's the fucking It drives me fucking mental when books are like, oh, if you get halfway through it's really good. You can have a book where nothing really happens and it all builds up to the end and still make it enjoyable. Look at A Darker Shade of Magic, nothing really goes on, but like it's captivating enough that you want to keep reading it. But there wasn't a mystery in Bridge of Clay to keep me going, because like, we knew the murderer was the dad. I'm assuming he killed the mum. He probably didn't, because like, I don't fucking care. You know, it felt like, because of the way it was written, because our narrator had experienced the story, like, it starts with him digging up a fucking dead dog and snake because he's looking for a typewriter. That's something else that I don't even want to get into, because like, what the actual fuck? What was I saying? The narrator, it starts out at him being older doing this thing, and then he'll like talk about something, he's like, oh, but I'm not going to discuss why I'm doing this now because I haven't told you what happened 15 years ago. But then he goes to 15 years ago and he'll like reference things that happen in the future, but we don't know about because that hasn't happened yet, but like, he wants to tell us. And I'm like, it's like he's trying to be clever and it doesn't fucking work. And I swear to God, I said this in my wrap up because I actually listened to the audiobook of The Underdog, which is Markus WHOsak's like other book that he wrote ages ago. Fucking dreadful. Reads the same way that Bridge of Clay is written, except it follows a coherent line rather than like, I'm telling you, I actually went into the store and looked at the physical copy because I was really worried that NetGalley had accidentally uploaded a first draft or like something, because it's how it reads. Like, to me, reading that, I saw parallels with like novels that I have written where I could tell that he knew the story, he knew where he wanted to go, but like, it didn't make sense to us. And that's what it was like. It was like a first draft where he has all this information, but he hasn't organized it into a nice story to read. And I'm so fucking mad. Not because he wrote The Book Thief, which was amazing, which, I mean, yeah, okay, mad, but It's the fact he took 10 fucking years. Now, I don't know if he physically took 10 years writing and editing the book, but bro, do you know, it wasn't like he was a debut author and the publishers were like, come on, give us a new book, you were so successful, blah, 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 blah. He was successful and he sat back and was like, I'm successful. So I'm like, if you're gonna take 10 years of not having written a book, you know, say he only started the book 2 years ago, which I know it's been longer because it was like 2011 that it was on Goodreads. But just say a year ago he was like, I miss writing, I want to publish a new book. You've already spent that long without releasing anything, so take longer and make it a good book. Don't just hash it together. Except he hasn't just hashed it together, he's been working on it for over a decade. Have I mentioned that? I'm really annoyed. It just, I think as a reader, I'm disappointed that it wasn't a very readable book for me. But as a writer, I don't want to say it's insulting because reading's subjective and stuff, but it does kind of upset me as a writer that I know that if anyone else, maybe except J.K. Rowling, put that book into a submission pile, they'd have been like, the fuck, go away. They wouldn't have read past the first chapter. And it drives me insane knowing that, like, you know, I want to be a writer and I would like to think that my writing is good, but knowing I'm likely to be rejected, but then books like this exist that I think are dreadful. Oh, I'm so angry. I just don't get it. It's not just that I didn't like the book, it didn't make sense. Like, it made me feel really stupid. Like, I was like, it's how I imagine people who don't speak English, like, it's how I imagine reading a book in a language I very barely understand would go. Maybe like French. Do you know, like, actually no, because I tried reading a book in French and it made more fucking sense in a language I don't speak than this book in my own language made. But it was as if somebody had went onto Google Translate and did like the translate back and forth. Because it had a semblance of meaning, but like it didn't. And I'm just, oh, I'm so annoyed. I'm annoyed mostly because, like, it's just so many things at once that have annoyed me. The fact that it took away from me reading for A Conjuring of Light, because like I was trying to get through that book for release date on my birthday and I couldn't, so then by the time the 11th of October came, I did have 2-3 weeks to read A Conjuring of Light but obviously I was going away and I was not in the mood to read it because I was like, what the fuck is this? Like, I genuinely felt like I just lost the ability to read. Like, I was like, do I just not know how to read anymore? People who have read this book, do you feel the same way? Did I just get a weird copy? Did my brain malfunction on me for this one book? If you liked it, I'm really sorry. You know, like, kudos to you. I wanted to love it. But can you please explain to me how you got through, like, because it was just, I can't fathom anyone enjoying their time reading that. Like, that's what I'm getting at with the whole books getting better. I'm not going to torture myself through a book I'm not enjoying because it gets better. If I'm enjoying it but I'm a little bored, sure, because like it's good, I just don't really feel like it. But when I'm having to sit there and say, read the damn page. In fact, I was literally going sentence by sentence. I was like, if you read this sentence, you can cry about how bad the book is later. Like, do you know, oh, I'm just so annoyed. And like, nobody's reviewing it, so like I can't get the spoilers to find out what happens at the end. Overall, I just don't understand. I really don't understand how this book exists. It's as if the publishers knew it was dreadful because they didn't really hype it. There was like no promo for it. So why would you put money into publishing a book hoping that it'll sell because it's WHOsak when you've basically condemned him to like never sell a book again? Because I'm sorry, I'm not buying any of his books in the future. Like, I Am the Messenger, which I will read and give it a try because I know people will enjoy that one. But the next time in like 20 fucking years when WHOsak's like, hey, I have a new book, I'm gonna be like, library, thanks. Because like, fuck, I am given my money. I am so, I'm overly mad, but like, come on. It's not that it's well, it is a bad book, but you know, it's not that it was just like full of problems and like was racist or it was this. It just, I am over it. I am hoping this video, filming this, has given me closure. I hope I can move on with my life, move on to better books. and never ever have to look at that fucking nasty ass fucking novel, whatever it even was, ever again. Cue like 5 years time when I look back on my videos and I'm like, I'm gonna read books that I hated. Emma, don't do this to yourself, don't do it, just no. If you haven't read Bridge of Clay and you wanted to, I tell you not to, but please do, because then maybe you'll hate it as much as me and we can like wallow in anger together. Do you wallow in anger? You wallow in self-pity. I don't fucking know. I feel pretty self-piteous. Is that a word? Making words up. But I do. I pity myself because I put myself through that because it was Markus WHOsak. So note to self, I learnt this with the Hazelwood. Don't listen to what other people say, but also don't keep going because the author has a good track record, because they might let you down. I feel a lot better. I'm glad I got this done. If you've watched this, thanks. Oh my goodness, I love a good rant. I need to hate more books so I can rant more. Oh, but yeah, Markus WHOsak. Markus WHOsak. That's how it's gonna be now. That's how it is to me. Like, it's actually upset my love of The Book Thief in a little way, because like I now associate him with this fucking abysmal piece of writing, and like, reading subjective. Maybe it's absolutely literary whatever. Maybe this book will win all the awards and I'm just the weirdo that doesn't like it, but it's my opinion. It's my channel. Welcome. And scene end, whatever. Oh my god, that was a ride. I am just anticipating the dislikes and the "oh my god, you're so rude" comments. Like, yeah, I'm being a bitch because I feel like being a bitch because it's my channel and that book pissed me off. So yeah, it's why I said in the beginning, like, obviously I'm not gonna go out into the world and like assassinate Markus WHOsak. Like, let the man live. Let him write as many books as he wants. Like, you go, dude. You're living the dream. Literally, he's living the fucking dream. So like, you know, I'm sitting in my fucking bedroom trying to write a novel. He's writing novels. Doesn't matter if I don't like them. So yeah, I hope this was entertaining for you all, because if not, I'm not gonna have any good redeeming comments to make up for all the shitty ones. But then again, the shitty ones are quite funny sometimes, so. Please feel free to comment below, let me know if you've read the book, if you equally hated it, if you really enjoyed it and you think I'm a fucking psycho, I don't know. Please let me know if you have read this book, if you tried to read this book, and feel free to dislike the video and tell me how awful I am of a human being because Markus WHOsak is amazing, because like, I know, I am garbage. Emma, get your shit together. Oh, okay. Bye.